All right, now in order to start this example, I am going to actually pull up the refraction technique that we used. Again, if you haven't done it already, we created a tutorial on refractions that you can find on mir.works. We keep all of our tutorials here on our blog. You can also find it if you scroll down just a little bit on the page here. TouchDesigner reflections and refractions. And essentially what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be holding this, hopefully not pixel, okay, this shiny, sphery goodness in my hand and have it kind of like float around and rotate like the example that I shared earlier. I'm not going to be using the same crystal just so that it's a little bit easier. All right. So in order to do that, I'm going to pull up the example. So I'm going to bring that in. Essentially, you could create another base. By creating these individual containers, it allows you to kind of more modularly use your data and your information. Check out our tutorial on modular architectures to learn more about working with bases and toxes. But that's for a different time for you to explore. Okay, so before I jump into here, I am going to do myself a solid and delete this video device in, because essentially if you have two of them running in your network, things get a little unhappy, as I learned recently. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this. Goodbye. Great, we're just gonna let this be just be an error. I'm gonna go like that so it doesn't have like a little red friend. Great. Now I'm gonna go into my base refraction example. I am spoiled and I have it already created. We're gonna essentially have this amazing little kind of astrolabe refractive goodness floating in our hand. All right, so we've got this all set up. Groovy, groovy. Now what I want to do is essentially, this is the geometry that I'm going to be controlling. And so I am going to split my panes. H for home. I'm going to go up. I'm going to go up, and I am going to go into my leap motion. And what I want to do is I want to use the information from my palms here on the leap motion. I want to use the palm values here to control the position of the astrolabe geometry. And so in order to do that, I am going to basically do a similar process of selecting it out, selecting it being the palm data, and then prepping it to come over to my geometry. I'm going to again use this handy full screen feature so I can get back to that other friend. Okay. I am going to add a select chop. Let's see, is my hand, it's excited. Oh. Select chop, great. But I would like to, I'm gonna just visualize that 'cause it's so big. I'm gonna hide these, or, oops, okay. So we're less distracted, okay. I'm going to select out channel names. I'm gonna add palm, and then I'm gonna add a star. Great. This is essentially what I want, but like we said before, I only want the T, X, Y, and Z. Boom. And so you can use your pattern matching here. They're so much easier to see. We just have these 6 channels, which is super exciting. And what I want to do is I actually want to rename these channels TX, TY, TZ, similar to what we did in our previous example. I am going to actually individually select out each set of palms. So for the first select, I really just want hand 0 and then for the second one, I want hand 1. Basically, this helps separate the channels and so that I can rename them. So I want these to be renamed to X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to do the same for the second hand. So what I'm getting at here is that I want the illusion that I showed on Instagram. I was averaging the values of each of the hands because there was only one piece of geometry and I wanted either hand to be able to control its position. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to combine in chops. I'm going to average it so that basically I'm going to get the average position of the hands, or essentially just one of the positions of the hands. But I want to be able to detect either hand. I don't want to just get one. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to do is I am going to add a null here. Just wanted to explain that. Groovy. Our pipeline is ready on this end. I just clicked the full screen mode. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a select on this side so that I can bring over this positional data of my hands. I no longer need this window, so I'm going to close it. Great. Here we are. Very exciting. The first thing I'm going to do before I go into more chop land is I'm going to change the resolution of this image just because I know the resolution of my camera and it is not 1080 by 1080. Clearly this was made to post on Instagram. So I'm gonna add my video device in. I'm gonna change it to be the HD camera. Hello again, we're back. Okay. So I am going to add a null here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use we're gonna use, oh my gosh, what is it called? The resolution of my camera to determine the resolution for my render. And so I'm gonna, sorry Matt, I'm gonna erase this, like these handy expressions, and instead I'm gonna write op, open parentheses, open parentheses, yeah, these are parentheses, right? Yeah. Op, open parentheses, colon, this isn't a colon, what is that, apostrophe? Grammar is weird. Okay, op, open parentheses, little dash, null 1. Forgot the other colon. And I'm gonna do dot par dot resolution W. Yes. I'm gonna copy that expression and I'm gonna pop it over here and use it for H. Sweet, very exciting. Now, before I move forward, I know that this orb frontier is too big. So I'm just gonna multiply it by 0.5 so it's not totally enormous. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the end of this null into my displace, and I'm going to drag it here after the render. I'm going to close this guy. I'm going to, ooh, amazing. Clearly that's working. Okay, wait, what's happening? Okay, let's see what's happening here. So our render is 256 by 256. Hold up. Yeah, that's not the right size. What did I, null 1? Null 1, why are you doing that to me? It shouldn't be like that. I'm gonna make this a custom resolution, and I'm gonna make it 640 by 480. Yeah, okay, that's better. Oh, why? Why aren't you updating? Y'all. Null 1. pero like why? Output aspect, use input, custom aspect. That's trash. Why is that the case? I'm gonna use video device in because I have no idea why it's doing that. And I just wanted to use null one because it was less things to write. I'm gonna also move this like little sphere friend. Just like ever so slightly. Yeah. Out of my face. Okay, so it's like not as jarring. Okay, we're gonna fix this. We're gonna change this to video device 1. Video device in 1. Video dev in. Dev. Yeah, what happened? I think it's just like retaining some old values, which is like super sad because it's making me question what is happening. Okay, this is better. Now let's like go to the end here and see what's happening. Okay, it's still squished. That's fine. What is happening? Oh, okay. This is why you don't like recklessly click things, you know? Like sometimes I am a very reckless and aggressive clicker, and so I change things without totally knowing what it is that I changed, but it's fine. Okay, great. We have an orb here that I will now control to float in my hand. Okay, so we got our select. We good, we ready. We have a decent output. We're not super smushed. Goals, okay. I have a feeling that this might be flipped, but I won't know until I start to mess around with the data.